What up, folks? It's your boy Dash back again with another word of the day. Another word of the day. Hold on, let me fix my hat. Look like I'm angry. I ain't represented the Steelers in a while, so I'm doing it just because we are not having a great season. So, yeah, still going to represent, but yeah, this is what being a Steelers fan looks like. It's ridiculousness. Anyway, though, I'm a big fan of God, so let's get to his word. Now, my word of the day today is I felt the need to be a little more cautious to my people as of recent because it seems like there's a lot of misunderstanding right now in the world. And the things that are being misunderstood are very important things. And it's not because people don't know. I don't feel so, at least. I know that applies to some people, but I also feel like there's a lot of people that just don't care. So, my word of the day today is careful, because there are a lot of things that you should definitely be careful of in living. But we're talking about spiritual right now. So, the 3 things always: be careful with your surroundings. You know, when I say surroundings, I don't mean just like the actual area surrounding you, but the people, the things. You're going to see a lot of Proverbs today. Let me go and throw that out there. Proverbs 13:20 says, be friends with those who are wise, and you will become wise. Choose fools to be your friends, and you will have trouble. Also, a lot of Proverbs, I'm telling you now. Also, Proverbs 12:26 says, good people are careful about choosing their friends, but evil people always choose the wrong one. So, how do you choose the wrong one? Not being careful. Duh. For one, it's a weird thing to me, with especially with guys in friendships, because what guys do, I don't understand why. What they do is they put a whole lot of stake in friendships that don't matter as much. Now, when you have a bruh, when you got your bros, that's one thing. But they treat that weirdly as well. It's a bit weird because guys are so quick to put their homeboys above their significant other. I don't understand it, because you're not building an empire with your brothers. Now, if you are, to each his own. But obviously, if you have a wife and your brothers are first, something is wrong with your priority case. So you're already surrounding yourself with foolishness just in that. But then, not only do people surround themselves with other foolish people, they surround themselves with what those foolish people partake in. See, it's all a trickle-down effect. It's all a trickle-down effect, because when you deal with foolish people, the outcome is going to be what? Foolish. You get a foolish outcome, and that's always going to be true. You're never going to not get a foolish outcome when you deal with foolish people. Some of the outcomes might feel good at some point in time, but overall, in the long run, it always ends up being foolish, because what you choose to surround yourself with. Because if you choose to surround yourself with foolish on a regular basis, guess what you're going to go home with? Foolishness. And you're going to go home and you're going to want to partake in foolishness, because that's what you're used to and that's what you surround yourself with. Moving on, second point, be careful who you take advice from. Let's see. I do truly believe that people don't take advice from everybody. In fact, I feel like people are really specific with who they take advice from. But even in that, the barometer for who they choose to take advice from is a little off. I feel people choose to take advice from people based on things other than the fact that it's good advice. People take advice from people because they already made up in their mind what they want to do, so they're going to take the advice from the person that sounds the most like what they already want to do, or they're going to take advice from the person that reinforces their fear they have with something, or they're going to take advice from somebody just because they like that person. Listen, Proverbs, again, 12:15 says, fools always think their own way is best, but wise people listen to what others tell them. And I said this is a trickle-down effect. So, because what does this have to do with taking advice? Now, fools, it says fools always think their own way. Fools. And if you inhabit your surroundings with fools, and that's what you're around on a regular basis, like where else are you gonna get your advice from? And they're gonna think their way. You know, people always want to force their thoughts and their beliefs on you. I know that people will probably say, well, that's ironic. That's what you're doing right now. No, it's not. I'm giving information. And this is information that you could choose to take or choose not to take, you know, because what's important to me is my salvation. What's important to me is your salvation. But if your salvation isn't important to you, personally, I can't do anything about that but pray. Anyway, moving forward, though, you know, I just want to throw that out there for the trolls. Anyway, but fools will give you what they want to give you, not what they feel is good advice. See, because they even in their mind think it's good advice, but really what they're doing is just saying what they want to say. They're just telling them, hey, bruh, I'm telling you, man, you know they say. I hate that you know they say mess. Who is they, first of all? Who are they? Who are they? The they that you're referring to. Because if it's a they that you don't know, then it shouldn't be coming out of your mouth telling me about a day that doesn't exist. They is society, and we definitely not gonna move based on society, because society is the world. Society is the same society that tells women what determines whether they're beautiful or not. Society is the same thing that tells men what determines if they're a real man or not. Society is what tells Christians or people that want to be Christians that it's lame to be Christian, or whatever the case may be. So we're not going to go based on society. So I don't want to hear what they say. Proverbs 15:2 says, listening to wise people increases your knowledge, but only nonsense comes from the mouths of fools. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. When you're taking advice from people, I feel like as humans, yeah, we're humans, born in flesh, you know, born to be wicked. But there is something inside of us, every one of us, you know, waiting to be unlocked. And that thing, it shows in flashes. You know, it shows in flashes. When you're doing something wrong, you know you're doing something wrong. Now, if you were just ignorant to it, you wouldn't know. But you know. You know. It might be a small inkling, but it's there. It's there. So that small inkling is the same little small inkling that tells you this is bad advice or this is good advice, you know, because more than likely, if you've been moving in foolishness and someone gives you advice and it's the opposite of what you want to do, more than likely it's good advice. Because if you've been moving foolishly, good advice would be to do something that is the opposite of that. Stop being foolish. Why would you choose to be foolish? That makes no sense. Anyway, moving forward, be careful with what you fill yourself with. Philippians, I'm going to go get the scriptures out of the way because I got some talking to do. Philippians 4:8. In conclusion, my friends, fill your minds with those things that are good and that deserve praise. Things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and honorable. Also, Colossians 3:16 says, let the message of Christ dwell among you. That's inside of you. Richly, as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom through psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts. Now, all of these things say these are things that you should fill yourself with. Fill yourself with good things. Do not fill yourself with negative things. Listen, when I say fill, what you fill yourself with is, what do you spend your time listening to? What do you spend your time watching? What do you spend your time doing? Listen, I understand all of you young folks that are out there like this music and stuff and the craziness, but if you listening to homicide all day, then what do you think your mind is going to produce? If you're listening to sex and lust all day, what is your mind going to produce? And if you have a struggle with lust, don't even get me started with that. If you have angry thoughts, don't get me started with what listening to homicide will bring you. Listen, if you fill yourself with foolishness, that's what's going to come out. So please, this is one of the things that I think people really struggle with when it comes to choosing your spirituality, because, you know, everyone feels, oh my God, if you're Christian, you can't do this, you can't do that, which is true. But again, it's not, we're not, you know, just robots. Please, people, be careful with what you fill yourself with. This is very important. I'm serious. This is very important. Dash out. Love y'all.